Previously on Critically Stupid.
Hello and welcome back to the Critically Stupid podcast. My name is Gareth. I'm here to refresh your memory as to what happened 2 whole Fridays ago. Now, we were on our way to the Battle of the Bards before being stopped at the front door and told we were lacking an artificer. We were stumped for a little bit before fortunately meeting an artificer in need of a band. Her name was Tess. Very lovely person who came out of the blue, apparently hoping a band didn't have an artificer, just her luck. So we got inside, and before we were performing on stage, Mel got into a scuffle with a Sarah Landauer, who was attempting to sell her father's land. Mel, having witnessed this, said something and was threatened, much to Mel's displeasure. We also met a Ranear Neverember who was so hammered, so plastered. It was honestly embarrassing for everyone involved. But yeah, he was drinking his sorrows about losing one of his father's taverns to a competitor, Duster Froon. During the final performance, so anyway, Nut and Cerulean were captured into this portal. I managed to throw my magic knife in there, and personally, I don't know how Sourpuss is gonna beat that. That was a pretty crazy crescendo there at the end.
Oh, shit. Arnold or Anthony just lost internet.
That's no good.
That's gonna be problematic.
Are they having weather?
Excuse me. I don't know.
My eyeballs.
I would go as far to say as they are having weather of some kind.
What?
Weather happens.
Does it?
All right, it's 8:11. It's been 11 minutes. Katie said she was 10 minutes behind, so now she's just still late. Tis.
Guess what? We cannot do it without her. Arnold, it's great to have you back.
Every time I move my arms, I knock everything over.
I'm the opposite. I'm all arms. That's I forget.
I don't even have legs.
Yeah.
Well, I've never seen your bottom half. Like, for all I know.
It doesn't exist. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's fine.
My bottom half is a spider. It's like a centaur, but horrifying.
That's so scary. What the hell?
My bottom half is a centaur, but just the head part, I actually have
Your bottom half is a horse head. You were uncredited in The Godfather.
Dare promised me that there'd be a lot more people offering me free drugs.
You know what? I've only been offered free
and I'm a
drugs
little
once in
upset
my
about
life.
it.
Let's Dare.
No, I've definitely been offered more than that, but like Dare presented it like something that was going to happen, and I was going to have to reject them, like I wasn't seeking them out, and like all of this is just so unrealistic.
Garion, what's in your background? Is that a nightlight?
Yeah, it's so comically bright though. Here, check it out. Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead. Just while we're
go
ruining
plug it
lighting
in.
just kind of all day.
There's no remote, so I have to plug it in.
Don't look at his ass.
I'm disappointed
Do it,
there's
yeah.
not a spider hat bottom half.
It's so that light is
Like,
so
hold on.
bad.
I wonder if
Jesus Christ.
I think
What
I can
the
pull it.
fuck?
God.
You got like the fucking Aurora Borealis in your room.
Dude,
Oh,
and
and
so
I
it was
missed it.
it was
Incredible.
prior to an episode where Anthony, Garion and I, and we were waiting for Dianna and Katie to come in, and Garion was like, "Oh, I got a new light. Do you guys want to see it? I'm going to use it on screen." And Anthony and I were like, "Yeah, sure, plug it in." And he plugged it in, and Anthony, there was like 15 seconds of silence, and then Anthony goes, "I mean, it's not great."
Hey Siri, what is a tube sock?
Are you fucking kidding me?
But
You don't know what a tube's?
It's just a sock. Well, it's a long
It's a
one.
long white sock.
What is stupid? So it has nothing to do. All socks are tubes if you think about it.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning into Critically Stupid, soon to be world famous real play Dungeons and Dragons podcast. By now, I'm estimating that we have far surpassed that idiot other show, Critical Role.
Never
Shit, bad.
Heard of
Just
them.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That show's actually amazing, and I
amazing.
can't
Matt
trust.
Mercer.
Yeah. So like Matthew
You're my
Mercer, I
hero.
know you're
Huge
a
inspiration.
dedicated watcher. You are our first subscriber, so thank you. Welcome. We're playing. We're doing it. We have to move fast because Anthony's having internet issues. So what's up? My name's Alex. I'm the DM. My favorite part about last episode was canonically when I robbed Garath of a butt cheek. It's just a smooth orb, hip to hip. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Dianna, Anthony, Katie, Jess, Garion.
My name is Diana. I play Mel. I also have a wolf pup that is Joshua Patrick, and I don't remember shit from last episode as usual.
Business-like.
My name's Anthony. I play Arnold, and my favorite part of the last episode was that Arnold was so into Battle of the Bards that he wasn't paying attention to the fact that the world was changing around him or any of the nonsense that was happening whatsoever. Just wanted to
He
win.
had his American Idol moment.
Oh yeah,
fancy
he thought
American
he was doing it. He was responsible for the world.
Speaking of American Idol, joining us live from 2007 in a Kelly Clarkson music video is my main girl, Katie. Katie, what's up? Do you want to sing a lyric? Do you want to hit me with a...
Since you've been gone from the first time, show me reader. Yeah. Hey, my name is Katie. I play Cerulean, and my favorite part of last week was that it ended with Miss TJ Miss Tickles bibbity bobbity booing me out of the world.
Beautiful.
Is it my turn?
It is your turn.
My name is Jess. I play Tess, last name Tickles. My favorite part of last episode is when I decided I had a t-shirt cannon full of drugs.
Drugs.
Very fit. You're gonna fit right in.
You're gonna do great.
My name is Garion. I play Garath, and my favorite part of last episode was the look on Alex's face when he realized that Jess had successfully gotten away with naming her character Testicles without his realizing until it was too late.
God,
The look on his face, I could sell for millions of dollars.
I was so angry because like Jess and I had talked about her character and she was like, yeah, I kind of want the character's name to be Tess, and just like off the jump I was like, oh, that makes sense. Jess has never played D&D before, so it's really easy to like have a character named similarly to you so that you can slide in and out. And then you fucking hit me with that at the end, and I was like, are you jerking my chain right now?
I like that.
All
I
right.
tried very hard. I didn't want to say it together. I really would carefully be like, Miss Tickles. Yeah, you know?
Yeah.
And then so you can put it together or you don't.
All right, we're going. Screaming kids aside, we have to start the game.
I just lost the game.
I'm gonna murder
Aw.
you in your bed.
Oh. You
right.
shit in your bed.
That's worse. Okay. All right. It is a chaotic scene in the courtyard of Lady Growlhun's manor. People are screaming as these small diminutive figures are racing through the crowd. They are wearing sort of like green cloaks with hoods. They're blurred as they move around. I think Gareth and Mel, you notice this. Arnold, I think you're too into the song at the moment. I don't know that you picked this up. Yeah,
I would
you're
be.
like,
I was going to ask if I've won yet. Is my question. Like I want to know.
you are winning, and you can feel it.
I
Like
have
your vibe is so much stronger than.
You're winning so hard, you tore open a hole in the space-time continuum.
Yeah.
But your lighting is significantly less awesome because I went through a portal.
Because
So-
Cerulean is gone. I do think you noticed that Cerulean disappears because she was your front man. But at the moment, I think you're so into the music that you just like compensate with her with the guitar and you move along.
Arnold's just like, oh, a solo? Fuck yeah.
My time to shine.
Just like weaves the word mom in there awkwardly.
Mom. All right. I would love everybody to roll initiative, please, because we're going to start with a split party. So I want to make sure that everybody has an order.
What does that mean?
So Tess, you're gonna on your character sheet, you have an initiative score. It's in sort of the middle, right next to your skills. It should be a +2. So roll a d20 and add 2 to it.
Did you circle it for her too?
I've got it live on my screen because I created it 30 minutes ago.
Like
I got a 14.
1 minute before we were gonna start. Yeah.
Gareth got a 12.
He has to circle all the important parts for me on the sheet.
I love that for you.
The order is Anthony, Bestie, Gareth, Katie, Jess. That's the
Okay.
order.
Got it.
So Anthony, top of the order. You shredding on this guitar. Notice that the air in front of the stage has split, and Cerulean and Tess go diving through it, which is alarming because they are no longer singing your song. Just horrifying. I think there's a natural moment where your fingers stumble a little bit.
Fair.
And you feel a mirroring shiver ripple through the air that like times in tune with your fingers stumbling on the strings of your lute of your electric guitar.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do, if anything, or would you like to keep jamming that sweet?
No, of course. Okay, so I can see this ripple in front of me, right? Like it's like a doorway, sort of a portal.
They have just dived into it and it's sealed shut. The last thing you saw
Oh,
was
it's completely shut? Okay.
It's
okay,
shut. The last thing you saw was Gareth run to the front of the stage and hurl his knife through it.
Okay, so I immediately drop to my knees and just do like a mom! Like
Do you like slide forward on your knees?
yeah.
As well?
Oh yeah. No,
Oh, hell
just
yeah.
like pure rock, like and like it's like the end of the song. You hear like the crazy crescendo, like it's ending, and then I'm just like actually like get up for a second. I'm looking for Gareth. Basically, I'm looking for like my other friends.
So Gareth and Mel are both still on the stage with you.
Okay.
Mel, actually, you notice that Joshua Patrick is standing on all four legs and is growling at the sort of like hubbub and growing confusion in front of the stage. He's not thrilled with it. But it is your turn. Dianna.
Yeah, I know. God, I would just be so confused. So wait, so Arnold's just playing his mournful song.
No, so I just screamed "mom" essentially, and then
the,
I got.
but the
up to
rift is
reconvene.
closed,
Yes.
and there's just chaos everywhere.
You
There's a bunch of
see
little goobers running around.
you see two of the goobers emerge from the stage. And Mel, you see one of them point at Joshua Patrick, and you
Mm.
see the other one nod. And then
Oh.
both of them make a lunge for your dog.
I will shoot them.
With a gun.
So much death
They-
about to happen.
They stumble, so they don't quite make it to the Doge. However, you can make a attack roll to fire your arrow.
Kill him.
Actually, yeah, kill him, mess him up,
Kill
mess
him.
him up good.
Kill him.
Does that mean I'm rolling? They went for my dog, guys.
Diana didn't even pull out her bow. She just pulled out a pistol.
Pulls out a
Straight, I
Glock.
did. Damn straight.
Fill the t-shirt cannon with bullets.
Fuck yeah.
It's just a cannon now.
23. I can math.
23 to hit. Okay.
Yeah.
Mel, what was your previous role in the band? While the song was playing, what were you doing? Were you like a tambourine girl? Were
I
you
don't
a
even
flautist?
remember what
It was
I
an electric harp, remember?
Yeah.
Oh, because it was your
yeah.
bow.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's already in her hands. Like
So
she
you-
don't even have to like thunk.
So you've got this sort of like electric harp that you, I think, are fake playing and lip syncing
That
to.
I now just shot an arrow out of. So
And then somebody lunged for your dog and you like spun an
Okay.
arrow out of like a hip pocket, like your Lululemon's leggings, but like stuffed with arrows instead of a
I'm
cell
just
phone.
so cool.
And you shoot one of these diminutive figures. Roll some damage, please, because a 23 for sure hits.
Is that it's the 8?
Yeah, you're
learning.
killing it.
If I can fucking find it. Okay, here it is. There's so many dice and we only use like 2. Oh, they're probably dead. 8, 9. D8 plus 3, 10.
Golly. Okay.
Fuck those people. or
So
whatever
one of
they
them
are.
one of them lunges for Joshua Patrick, arms outstretched, and as this figure enters like the light of your stage, a little bit darker because Cerulean's dancing lights have in fact disappeared. You see a ghostly green blur as the lights touch their exposed skin, and you realize that these figures are all like green skinned. However, your arrow pierces right gosh darn through the center of him, and this figure kind of goes sprawling with a surprise shriek of pain, and the grass underfoot is suddenly splattered with bright carmine.
Sweet.
Would our resident ranger know whether or not that they were goblins?
Or perhaps goobers.
Or perhaps dead now.
I'm sorry.
Mermaids.
Goobers?
Goobers, yes.
Goobers.
Just little goobers.
I mean, just from the jump, from the offset, they look a little bit like goblins, small, green skinned. That definitely tracks. You've not seen their faces yet. Goblins have very distinct head and sort of like elongated ears. All of these creatures seem to have cloaks with hoods on.
Mermaid.
They're Jawas.
They are, in fact, Jawas. Garion, it is your turn. Garath, sorry, excuse me.
Oh boy.
You see somebody make a jump for the dog, and then you see Mel put them literally in their place.
Can I take off its cloak?
You would have to jump down from the stage and like run over to him.
Unfortunately, Arnold, I hate to break it to you, but I was never super dedicated to this performance, so I'll go ahead and hop off the stage.
Unreal.
I was just
Anthony's,
kind of
Anthony's
beatboxing.
internet is
We're fine.
Anthony's internet is going to cut out, and that's why.
That's fine. It breaks with my heart.
I was just
Okay.
beatboxing the whole time, I wasn't even mic'd.
So you're running over to do what exactly?
To take the cloak off of the goober. I want to see what it is.
All right, you take the cloak off the goober, or specifically, you reach down to grab the cloak, except there is a flash of cold steel, and a spear actually like snatches, like slams on your wrist,
shit.
but not hard enough to hit or cause damage, but enough to stop you from grabbing the cloak. And the other cloaked figure sort of like brandishes the spear, standing now between you and the figure that has fallen and is struggling to get up.
How small are these things roughly?
Child-sized.
Can I just kick it? Can I
Yeah, you
just, drop
can.
kick it?
Yeah, you can.
Like punt it
When you
like
say
a football?
child, are you talking like 4-year-old child or like 8-year-old
I don't
child?
think it
I'm
matters.
gonna be real. I don't spend that
They
much
all
time
look
around
the same
kids.
to me. Yeah.
I think
Uh,
anybody under 12, I could reasonably punt.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't think
let's
you
find
can
out.
punch an 11-year-old.
I
Give
mean,
me
sorry,
an
no,
unarmed. Give me an unarmed strike. I want to see if you can punt this child.
All right, unarmed strike. What's the stat on? Oh, I got it right there.
Are you for real punting?
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely, I am.
I do this with my arms.
I got a.
It's the Buffalo Bulls.
I got a 12 plus 2 is 14.
All right, roll 1d6. Don't add anything to it.
Okie dokie, artichoke.
Arnold, I need you to cast minor illusion as just a tiny field goal.
Just a feel, yeah. I
Just
am
like-
the
Oh,
upgrade.
hey, 5.
Okay, so you kick this creature right in the knee, and you hear like a wet crunch in a way that I'm pretty sure knees are not supposed to crunch. Diana's
my
the nurse
crunch.
here, not me, but I'm not certain they're supposed to crunch like that. And the figure falls to their knee. Z.
I
have two of them.
don't know about plural, bro. Might have just fallen to their knee.
They only
It's
have one
unproposed.
leg.
On the other side of the portal, we're sliding over to Cerulean and Jess. You roll a
Right.
little bit in the long grass of this meadow. You are surrounded by winking fireflies in twilight and trees, and there's like the smell of like lavender on the air. This is clearly like a very peaceful place. However, as you stand and turn where the portal that you just jumped through was, is an opening in the trees that doesn't look quite natural. It looks a little hastily made. And through it, you can see a sink in the actual forest, and it's almost like the trees stop just there. And on the other side is motion and alarm. Cerulean, at your feet is a very familiar looking dagger that you have seen Garath, I imagine, almost cut himself with several times as he was playing with it over the last couple of days.
Recognizing that it's Gareth's dagger and knowing the function of it, I am going to slide it into the side of my pants.
Oh, I
Right
can't
where you
wait.
want Gareth to go.
Yeah, is that
I
really?
love it.
We're all just gonna
No.
pop out of
Was
there.
it like you couldn't put it like a backpack or something?
Yeah.
Do you want to try to get into my backpack? You want a portal into a backpack?
Better
No,
than
you
your
wanna pull it
pants.
out of your butt?
Pants?
I'm not sure if, yeah.
I jump out of your backpack like somebody out of a cake. That'd be insane.
We're all gonna be like that Ace
But
Ventura
he's just,
thing
like,
out of the
ends up,
rhino.
like, he's just
Alien.
in her pants. He's just
Okay.
also wearing the same pair of pants, just both in it together.
I have a question, an operational question. Do I know if would Gareth have divulged at any point if he tested it, if anything happens with the dagger when he does does it get warm or does it like glow? Do I know any like operational hazards of the function of the dagger?
I mean, go ahead, Gareth. Sorry.
I would have said that when I teleport to it, it burns my hand, but I would have no way of confirming if other people can feel the heat or not.
Yeah, I think that would be what you would know that he takes damage, but I don't think there would be evidence to confirm if
Okay.
like the dagger itself gets hot.
You'll find out when I teleport to it. Like you'll know.
Jess, you want to check out this disturbance at the edge of the forest?
So you said there's a sink in between. Like
Yeah,
a-
so the landscape like falls almost like there's a down slope.
there's a little bowl,
There's a
and
little
then
bowl.
there's a disturbance on the other side.
There's a disturbance where the land starts to sink just at the edge of the trees. You're in a clearing right now.
Okay. Do I know what it smells like?
This is a tremendous question.
Oh.
It smells like sea salt and rotting kelp. It smells
Mm.
like the worst nightmare you've ever had of the ocean.
What happened to the lavender scent you were describing
What-
moments ago?
Oh,
There's
Jess
one.
is smelling this.
Oh, cool. That doesn't raise any questions. Perfectly.
I do
regular,
love
normal thing to
in
do.
last episode every time I told Jess what it smelled like, everybody was like, yeah, that checks out, except for Diana, who was like, wait,
Why
what?
is she smelling things?
Perfectly
I was
regular,
curious. I just
normal
figured it was a
thing to
character
do.
trait.
I thought it was
Okay, so I would first dust myself off because I'm
Mhm,
covered in
mhm.
grass and I'm very
Got it.
allergic to everything. Sorry, my phone's ringing. And I look at Kate. I look at Cerulean. She's putting something in her pants. I'm not gonna
Yeah, she
ask any
is.
questions. You do you, girl. Whatever makes you happy. I do see there's a kerfuffle. I don't love a kerfuffle. I feel like I would like hide behind a tree and like peek over it because I feel like I don't want them to see me.
Okay. Stealthily going over to check it out.
Yeah. But I
Perfect.
would like kind
Okay.
of like, hide behind trees and shit.
There you have a skill called stealth. Can you roll the D20 and add your stealth bonus to it? That's going to be a +2.
Was me picking up the dagger my entire action?
No.
Okay. were you
Because there was dear listener, there was a slight disturbance in Katie's force and she was forced to mute herself. So we'll get back to her in just a second.
Not a
I have
4-year-old.
12 total.
Okay. You schnook over to the edge of the woods. And you see that this dip in the landscape isn't actually a dip at all. Where there once was forest is now a carved deep into the land sea where there was not supposed to be one before. Clearly, like you can see the risen remains of like old hillsides where there once were trees, but they are now fully flooded and flattened and empty.
Oh my God, it's global warming.
There is a carved beach filled with muddy rivulets, and you are looking at what appear to be 2 or 3 walking, muttering shellfish in the process of killing your people, Feywild, Fey creatures.
Are they like crabs?
They are
I'm picturing
crab,
like a mollusk, like a clam.
yeah, no, they're like crab lobsters. They have big
They're
old
lobsters.
big old pincers
like pinchies.
and
you
eye
say killing people?
stalks.
Do they pee out of their eye? Is anyone peeing out of their eyes at the moment?
You know what's
I
crazy,
am.
Arnold? You know what's they are
Okay.
not currently peeing out of their eyeballs, but
Okay.
we're just getting warmed up here.
I figured. Okay.
Are they huge? Or are they just
They're
little?
they're human sized, so big for a crab and average size for a human.
Did you say that they were attacking people?
They are, yes,
Fae.
currently in the
Like
process
Fae.
of murdering Fae.
You said, in the Feywild.
Murdering
Yeah.
like just pinching them, like it's cutting them in half with like their
Um,
like
Are they trying to
Yeah.
hug them, but they're bad at it?
yeah.
They, no, you,
We've all
you
been
see,
there.
Everyone's
you
actually just
see-
allergic to shellfish. And they're just like, give me a kiss. And they're like, oh,
Ugh.
no,
Actually,
you
am
see them- you
allergic
see
to
them, like-
shellfish.
I
So,
am
Are
do
you
too.
really?
oh,
Oh.
yeah.
you think it's like an Asian thing?
Maybe. No,
'Cause-
because
'cause
we
I'm
watched-
Asian
we're
and-
supposed to eat a shellfish.
We're
Anyway.
failing our ancestors.
I know. I'm also allergic to peanuts, and there's a lot of peanuts.
There is a lot of no. I can do. I can do. I can do. I can do.
Yes.
Wait, hold on. You mean to tell me that testicle has a nut allergy?
Just
man.
all the other nuts.
I'm desperate
fine.
for Katie to finish her sentence.
Yes.
Oh, yes,
okay.
all right.
So these crab, how far away are they? Is my first question.
30 feet.
And can I see the people they're attacking? Like, can I?
You can see what's
like,
left.
what
You can
they-
see what's left of them.
Okay. So I am going to use a sorcery point to double my. I'm going to twin my spell.
Okay.
So I'll have to roll twice. And I am going to cast Tasha's Mind Whip on each. You said there's 3 or 2?
There's 3.
Okay, on the 2 closest to me, I guess.
Okay. Do you roll for that? Or I roll for that?
It is an intelligence save.
They mostly use their heads for peeing, so
Don't we all?
they rolled an 11.
Did each one roll?
Yeah, they both rolled an 11. I'm not going to roll for each of them.
Okay, cool. So it was a 13 save, so they failed. So
Okay.
I am going to. Okay, I'm going to cast it. I get to roll 3d6, and it can't take a reaction until the end of its next turn.
Okay,
And
heard.
moreover, on its turn, it has to choose whether it gets a move, an action, or a bonus action because it only gets one of the 3.
Okay, heard.
Okay, the first one takes 10 damage.
10.
The second one, excuse me. Second one takes 14 damage.
Okay. You see one of them. What? Give me some like flavor. Like, what does the spell do? Is it like a?
So you see Cerulean's fingers kind of do. What did you do at the very first? Do magic? Like, I just did magic. You see her jazz finger, and
Jazz finger?
no,
Hey, whatever you and your husband do is
can't.
consensual and behind closed doors. You know what I mean?
I love it here. Okay. You see her use jazz fingers, basically, and cast a spell, and she gets a little kind of pained look on her face. And Tess could probably see there is like a purple mist, or she might be able to smell it. I don't know. That comes out and it like wraps itself around where I assume their heads are. And you see it kind of like just permeate into their exoskeleton, and they would immediately feel pain in their minds. It's psychotic.
Crustaceans.
What does purple smell like?
Grape?
Yeah.
That's what we all
Always.
specifically Grapico, fantasy Grapico.
Okay, I'm just curious. You
That's
said
the
maybe-
company. That's the
Smell it.
company that produces grapes.
Yes.
Grape
Grapes
Co.
don't actually grow on trees in fantasy land. They're manufactured.
They don't grow on trees in real
Shut up!
land.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Joke's on you. Grape Juice is sponsoring. Just kidding.
All right. Yeah, this episode's brought to you by Welch's. All right. So Tess, you see a purple mist explode from Cerulean's vicinity.
Grapey.
And sort of like, yeah, grapily reach out, I think would be the adjective that I would reach for. And you see one of these lobsters is sort of like a blue-shelled, big-shouldered boy with like a flapping tail in his back. He grabs his head with his own pincers, except he's kind of dumb, so he bashes his own head with a pincer. And he falls prone and starts like flopping around in the mud. So there's two left standing. Before I cut away, Tess, I do want to tell you that it smells very familiar here, beyond the sort of like smelling of home and smelling of this like sudden sea, which you did not know existed. It smells very much like Cerulean, but a little different.
Yeah. Okay.
So flipping back to the other side of the portal, Arnold, you see Garath kick a child in the knee.
Yeah.
I think something child-sized is an important.
I mean,
So-
I shot one.
No, they're not
so-
children.
No, it's true. What
Yes.
if I take off the cloak and it is just like a kid?
Yeah, I assume this child has not
They
paid for its
shouldn't
beer.
have come at my dog.
It's Dustin Ego in a Halloween costume.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He got the
Justin Hagel
holidays
makes
mixed
some
up.
poor decisions.
So I want to like, so Arnold does like in one swift move, he throws his hand beneath his loot, grabs his longsword and kicks like the loot behind him, you know, with a badass like grab,
hell
you
yeah.
know, like super heroic move. Like like he's never done anything like this. So, but it's like like he could see it. He just he saw his best friend get sucked into a weird dark portal. His like bardic band like was just interrupted. He's screaming. He's upset. His other best friend is kicking children. He wants in. Like this is not happening. So yeah. So he throws this loot behind him while grabbing a sword, and he's prepared. And I just want to just dive forward to help.
Okay.
To help Gary.
You dive forward in time to see another two like sort of small children emerge from the fray. And when I say fray, I mean like there are the adults of this party, the party goers are in the process of like causing a stampede and flooding the exits, trying to get out of here. Like this is clearly like soured. The party is over. The only music you can hear is, unfortunately, Arnold Sourpuss, who is still playing.
Right.
He
this-
puts the
I
sword
mean, they're
away.
desperate. They knew they lost. You know.
Yeah.
Everyone's obviously trying to leave since their music is so bad.
Okay. All right. You see two figures emerge from the crowd. And Arnold, I think you're close enough to hear one of them whisper to the other one. You don't catch the words. It almost sounds like music of itself, like very lyrical, very chant-esque. But he elbows one and points at Joshua Patrick, who I imagine is like firmly between Mel's legs at this point, sort of like swaddled style. And the other one nods. And they start to sort of like push forward to join their other two companions, one of whom is trying to get off the ground while clutching at an arrow buried in their chest.
Okay. How far away, like, how are we positioned? Like, are they coming toward us? Are they near my friends yet?
The four of them are in front of you guys. So you two are standing between Joshua Patrick and Mel and these things.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm gonna cast Shatter in their direction. just at them, because obviously
Okay.
this is not going well, and I don't want this dog to get hurt at all. He's my best friend. So I cast Shatter. Let me see, which is ring noise. Each creature in 10-foot radius of this where I center it, they have to make a Constitution saving throw. So hopefully they fail miserably.
Yeah.
We rolled a 15.
Damn it! You beat me! You beat me! I have failed.
Do I take damage? Do I take damage on a successful save? Do I take like half damage?
I think so. It's half. Yeah. So let me roll. Let me see. 3d8 damage on a save for half as much. Yep. All right. So let me do that. I will roll the damage. All right. You only take 3 damage.
Okay. So you extend your hands, and the grass in front of you sort of like crackles and buckles as the air sort of like turns into like a jagged form of itself and sort of like explodes outward in a.
And when I do it, I'm
force.
like
The
like,
most dangerous scatting in
is.
all of the
It's
land.
so, yeah.
And they sort of like fall back. You see the one with the arrow in its chest sort of like cough, and like blood splatters its chin a little bit, and it does not get back up. I'm gonna be REAL with you guys. This guy stays down. Mel, you hear footsteps on the boards behind you. It's your turn.
I mean, obviously, I probably want to know what's behind me. I mean, is there?
Yeah, I don't know why I paused. It's another couple. It's 2 of them.
Okay, you made it sound so ominous that I thought it was
did.
going to be worse than that. I mean, and my bow's already out. I might try to talk to him. I always try to talk to him, and it never fucking works. But I'm gonna try it again anyway. I'm gonna try it again. I'm my arrows at him, and I'm gonna say, look, what I've already done. I don't want to do it again, except I kind of do, but I'm not gonna say the quiet part out loud. I don't appreciate you coming at my dog. You need to stop and tell me what the fuck is going on.
Okay. You say this, you point. I assume you knock an arrow and sort of like hold it
Like I'm ready to
threateningly at him.
murder again, because why not?
Because why not? They pause briefly, mutter to each other similarly to Arnold. You don't catch exactly what they say. It is in this like very lyrical tongue. However, one of them steps up and points at the dog, and then curls a finger, like a come here or a I want scenario.
Talking never works. I have no choice but to shoot them now.
The negotiations were short. Roll it, Bessie.
Negotiations were short indeed. Is that the 21st? Sorry.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
good.
Roll to hit. No, you're doing great.
Oh, hey, I got a 20.
Whoa,
7.
nat 20. Okay, so you're gonna roll for your damage dice. You're gonna roll double. So whatever you roll, I think it's a D8. You're gonna roll 2 of them, or one die twice.
First one is a. Do you want me to add the
Yes.
thing to it? That'll be 9
Okay.
and 5.
Okay, yeah. So you your arrow hits this thing like right in the dark space of its hood. And you hear a muffled herk, and this thing goes down like a sack of flour.
Look, it fucked around. It found out. I tried to talk. I always try to talk to these things, and nobody wants to talk, and I have to kill them.
I think my favorite thing about Mel is how she's like, I just want to talk, and her talking is, I'm gonna kill you.
It's like a death threat.
Yeah, like, tell me exactly what I want to hear.
But
Oh, no,
I just
okay.
think that
Fuck
I
yourself.
just think that it would incentivize them to talk a little, like you think it would. Instead, they just want to die, which whatever.
Okay, Gareth, standing in front of the stage, your best friend at your side, A couple of the guests of this grand fete are actually refusing to run and are fighting back. A couple of noble bartenders have hopped over the bar and are fighting with like trays and like ragtag, like bits of pole. A few of the nobles had weapons on them, oddly enough. Like a couple had like short swords. And so there is a defense being set up specifically in the center, like around this defensible bar area. However, you notice a curious thing, Gareth, paying attention to this. You see one of these hooded figures. There's a lot of them darting around now. You see one of them run up to the drunken, stumbling form of Ranear Neverember, who some of you may remember was derping around the party. And as he approaches Ranear, he looks up. It looks up at him. He's got a spear in one hand. A lot of them are armed with spears. He runs up to Ranear Neverember, brings its spear as if to attack, and then stops and turns around and runs and attacks somebody else.
Trust him.
I'm gonna get hammered. What if they're not attacking him because of this blood alcohol level?
Okay.
They smell the alcohol on him.
Now we're thinking with whiskey. What do you do? It's your turn.
What's the state of the kid or the thing that I just kicked?
Garion, the status of the kid that you kicked is in pain but standing.
The thing that I kicked.
The child that you kicked.
The child-sized creature that I kicked.
The
You
child
kid
you
kicker.
kicked is, yeah, you kid kicker.
Listen, this is only the second thing that I've kicked.
Oh, Edwin, bless.
He's fine. He's fine. Edwin's fine.
He's got to wear a special helmet now because of you.
Gareth, Ghost Mafia resident kid kicker.
Hard.
What are we doing, Gareth? We got to go.
I don't suppose no, he's still holding his spear because he's standing, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'm gonna go for just a leg sweep to see if I can knock him over. 'Cause
Okay.
I don't think he's standing super solidly right now.
So you can, yeah. Go ahead and give me an unarmed strike.
Cool. On it. Oh, I should have. Whatever. Fuck. 6.
All right, we're gonna keep going. Okay. You run up and try and bowl this little guy over. But he's too fast for you, and he just sort of like swerves around.
So is he now behind me?
No, he's just sort of standing to the side. He just stepped out of the way.
Well, because he was blocking me from taking the cloak off the one on the ground. So if he's no longer in my way.
You want to use a bonus action to sort of throw a cowl back?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I'll allow that. You reach out a hand and you can hear the alarmed cry at your side as this thing is like, oh no, wait, shit. And you throw this hood back and you're looking at a diminutive figure with pale green skin, wide eyes, currently open vacant and staring at the night sky. And its mouth is open. There's blood running down its chin, and you see elongated canines. However, notably, not a child. So
let's go. Innocent
exonerated,
yet again.
baby. Okay. So back to the other side of the portal. Katie, Cerulean. There are lobstermen chomping at Faye. And actually, like as you're watching, the two of them sort of like turn and see their comrade collapse. And then continue to walk on and press their attack. They don't stop, care, or say anything. Garion, yes?
Was I able to tell what it is?
You don't know,
green thing?
actually.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, I gave you all of the information that you had.
So not
Because you know
not
it's
a
cool.
goblin is what I was looking for.
Not a goblin.
I guess I'm gonna. So is the other one of them like not getting up, or One
No, it's
okay.
on the ground still.
then I am going to cast Ice Knife and hit the closest one to me.
Okay.
Or I guess the one that has the one that hasn't been hit.
Okay.
And then it's a Dex save 13.
Okay. I rolled a 7. Boo.
So All right, got an 8, and then it and the one next to it will take 2d6 cold damage.
Okay. You want to roll that for me?
12.
12. Oh, hey, excellent. Okay. So you sort of like flick your wrist and there's like an explosion of like ice shards and snow sort of like snapping across the air. And you hit one of these creatures and it sort of like explodes in shrapnel. You see it peel back the thick scales forming this like lobster's back rolling up their spines. And they turn and their eye stalks sort of like swivel and lock onto you. They now see you, and they start rolling up the hill towards you. And as they come closer, you can actually hear that they are talking to each other. Their voices are low and monotonous, and they're muttering what sounds almost like "dodo chuck, dodo chick, dodo dum," as they click their pincers and roll up towards you.
So no real words that I would recognize.
No real words that you would recognize. Jess, it is your turn.
First of all, I love that Katie's just like, she's like, yeah, this is, I just pull her into different worlds. She just starts fighting shit with me.
Hell yeah.
Like,
Yeah, notably
like,
not questioning
those look
her
sus.
kidnapper.
But we turned around and saw some murdered folks. You know what I mean? So like, I ain't trying to also get murdered. We'll deal with the questionably ill-timed portaling later.
Alex, there's no way I can just like turn into a cow and pour hot butter on the lobsters, hey?
That's great.
I mean,
Wait, are you a druid?
Can. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, okay. Okay, well, first of all, I have to turn into a cow, so that's the move, right?
That is the move.
Do I do a thing? Oh yeah, so I'm a druid and I'm a cow.
The move.
The move.
Although, do cows produce? I don't think it just comes out butter.
Hey, it's
You know
fantasy.
that.
Fuck you. How dare you step on somebody else's?
Shake the
No, it's a
udder
fantasy cow. You're
enough,
right.
Shake it up.
Shake the udder.
Tess just looks at Cerulean and says, "Shake my udder real quick when I turn into a cow." Like,
give me a shake.
shake my udder.
Really quick, guys and dear listener, Anthony is having internet issues in Florida. I think there's something going on, so we're going to proceed without him for now. If he comes back in, sorry about it. We're doing our best. Yes, Jess, you close your eyes and think of cheese, and you turn into a full-grown cow.
Damn. Yeah. The hot one.
Katie, you turn around and see a cow.
Are there any like? Because she has wild hair. Like, does this cow have like a wild tuft of hair?
That's up for Jess to say, not me.
I would say, yeah, I think it continues to have my hair just blowing in an invisible wind at all times, like Beyonce.
I love it.
It like flicks it over its cow shoulder, like gives you a look.
Like the gif of the cow with the hair blowing in the wind.
I like to imagine the black spots on the cow also just spell Tess.
All right, I'm into that. Okay, so Tess, what are we doing? Are we attacking?
Yes, we are. How does attacking work when I'm a cow?
So when you are a cow, you
Really
can
pour hot butter on.
ram, which is you run 20 feet straight and you make a horn attack, or you can saunter up to them and make a hoof attack. I'm not making this up, guys. I got literature right here.
I know.
I'm really glad people planned for this contingency.
I love this.
I think I'm gonna huff them. I feel
You're gonna huff them. All
I
right.
feel huffy. Do I do a roll?
You do a roll. I gotta Google
Do
your
do.
hoof attack.
It's like a foot, but it's not. It's like a.
No, I think he knows what a hoof is.
No, he
I do know
doesn't.
what a hoof
It's like
is.
a,
No, he doesn't.
like
No.
little cow feet.
They're like
We're
shoes.
really hoofing it.
Yeah, Anthony's back.
I don't know how long I'll be back. I'm sorry. I'm trying.
Welcome back, Anthony.
We missed you.
You,
Fill
you
you
right
in.
there,
I
Katie?
am a cow now.
Yeah.
You're a
You
cow.
have a
yeah.
funny bone,
Hey,
Katie?
what's up, Anthony? Tess is a cow now. Welcome to Critical.
That's utterly
This is
ridiculous.
a cow that
Uh,
also makes butter if you shake her udders.
If you shake my udders, the milk
it comes
will
out
not-
butter.
The
Yeah.
butters.
I'm literally Googling D&D
Damn.
5e
It's
cow.
not
All right.
butter.
All right. Tess. Roll a D20, add 5 to it.
Add five.
I need somebody to draw Tess as a cow, please and thank you.
Like one for every udder. Is that what's going on?
No,
How
it's a
many udders do
hoof
you think
attack,
cows
not
have?
an udder attack.
How did you become?
It's 20 with the +5.
20 with the +5
I'm gonna
hits.
cry.
Roll 2d4 and add 3 to it.
Roll
2d4. So there's a d4 option in your electronic roller there, and then add you're gonna roll it twice and add 3.
and then add 3.
Yep.
Roll. That's an
Like
8.
the straight value. of
Okay.
three.
So you run up to one of these lobsters, and you can see that they are walking fully bipedal lobsters with like claws for arms and like weirdly ripped a little bit. I think their torsos are chitinous, but they do have 6-packs because canonically everything in this universe does have a rippling
Chiseled.
6-pack. Yeah, they're chiseled
It's
lobsters.
glistening.
Are they in Bikini Bottom? Is this Larry the Lobster? I love this so much.
They are covered in blood, actually. But as they walk up to you, they mutter to themselves like "Didachik, dadacham," and you run up and you kick one of them in the chest and you buckle its chest plate. And there's like a white cream that sort of like spurts out a little bit. Is it blood? Is it cum? I don't know.
Find out next time.
She just bends over and she licks it. And she's like,
Oh, no,
Let's go.
Yes, what does it smell like?
I refuse. You can't
What
make
does
me.
it
I'm not
smell
yes
like,
anding
Tess?
this one. Oh, it smells like
Come.
lobster.
it smells like
I hate you so much.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning into Critically Stupid, soon-to-be world-famous Dungeons & Dragons Real Play podcast. I am, of course, your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, Alexander James, and I'm here to tell you about some stuff that we got going on. As always, we are playing Waterdeep Dragon Heist, an official Dungeons & Dragons licensed module written by Chris Perkins, Scott Fitzgerald-Gray, Kim Mohan, and Michelle Carter. Normally in the episode, this is where I would tell you to go to a certain website and check out some certain products that are licensed, and I think that used to be pretty cool. However, I'm not a huge fan of the steps that Wizards and Hasbro have taken regarding the open gaming license in D&D Next. So instead of telling you to go to that website and check out those products, I'm going to tell you to go to, I don't know, www.sherlockholmes.com and read about the world's most famous British detective. I think he's the world's most famous. Damn it. I think there's who's that chick from Murder, She Wrote? She might be Britain's most famous detective. Britain's most famous male detective, Sherlock Holmes. There it is. Nailed it. So go to that website instead of the other one. And hopefully by the time you're reading this, Wizards and Hasbro will have walked back some of those decisions they made regarding the open gaming license, and we can all sort of move forward as a community instead of pretending to be cash-grabbing money barons. As always, you can tweet the show at CritStupid to end up as a future NPC. Always remember that your likeness to the character ends with your name. All of the idiot decisions and dumb voices that come out of that character are my fault. So keep that in mind. We're trying a new thing for season 2, maybe going into season 3. The creators of the show and myself are going to be sharing graphics saying like, you know, new episode now, out now, or now listening to this. If you see those graphics and you share them and tweet tag the show, you will go into a pool to be a featured listener. So in a mid-roll such as this one, I'll put your name up on the screen. I'll reach out to you beforehand and see if you're working on anything you'd like me to promote and shout out in any capacity. And it's great free promotion for you, and the show gets spread out a little bit further, and hopefully we can get in front of some new people who would like us and think we're funny. We are, as always, trying to do that big YouTube subscriber push, trying to get to that big magical number of 1,000 subscribers. It would allow us to get access to better recording software, get Garion some better lights that don't look like LEDs he bought in middle school, and generally just improve the quality of the show so that we can be better and make a better show for you. So if you haven't yet, I would super appreciate it if you would subscribe, if you would recommend this show to a friend and recommend that they subscribe, or if you want to create a dozen bot accounts and have them subscribe. I don't care. It's all great to me. But real talk, though, I would love it if regular actual humans could enjoy the show as well. Those are the sort of the prime demographic. That's all I got. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble. I'm going to let you get right back to the show. I'm really glad you're here. You be safe out there. All right. I love you. What's going on, everybody? So sorry for the interruption. I've got one more announcement, and then I promise I will actually let you get back to the show. So Good Pods, if you haven't heard of Good Pods, it is a podcast hosting and listening app that allows you to rate and review your favorite shows right on the site. They've got an app for your phone. They've got a desktop site. I can't personally recommend it enough, but more importantly, Good Pods is doing a D&D and other TTRPG podcast takeover March 28th and 29th. There are more details to come, but for now, I highly recommend you create a Good Pods account, follow us, Critically Stupid, and your other favorite D&D shows, and stay tuned for more information. I got a bunch of great shows lined up. Billowing Hilltop, the AARPG podcast, Roll Britannia, Two Monsters Rolling Dice. There are a lot of really cool shows involved. We're trying to spotlight like the indie D&D tabletop role-playing game community. So go to goodpods.com, make an account, follow some of your favorite shows, listen to some shows on there, check out all of the cool features, and yeah, stay tuned for more information. March 28th and 29th is when the actual takeover days are going to happen, and we couldn't be more excited to work with Good Pods on this. So yeah, stay tuned. All right, I really do still love you, and have a great day. Take it squeezy, etc. All right, bye. It smells like the sea, and also it smells like somebody blindly obeying.
What does that smell like?
Cum.
I don't it smells like cum.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Okay.
Hit the nail on the head with that one.
I'm gonna be a little bit more fluid with these turn orders because like I got more to say on one side of this portal than the other. Sorry, guys. On the human side of the portal, this party is devolving rapidly. These little creatures are running everywhere. Arnold, you hear Sourpuss valiantly trying to continue playing their song. Probably you assume out of desperation because they did get their asses beat and they know it, sort of like stone cold. Yeah. But you see some of these little creatures sort of like tap each other on the shoulder and point. And in front of the stage where Sourpuss is playing is a struggling, really small tear in the sky that is trying valiantly to open. But it's almost like opening in a vacuum where it like opens and then like immediately snaps shut like a rubber band.
A sphincter.
Yeah, or like a sphincter.
Sky sphincter.
Specifically.
Does it ripple in a similar
Similar to that?
Yeah, can I tell if this butthole is going to a similar like tract as like, can I tell?
So you look.
What do I?
I don't want to go in the wrong hole, Alex.
I'd like to examine the butthole. Is what
Arnold,
I'm saying.
you look right in the butthole.
Yes, I do.
And it does look into a meadow with long grass and trees and winking fireflies.
That's
just as that butthole wings back.
You got to be careful.
Man.
We don't want to accidentally go in the wrong hole.
Yeah.
But as Matt strums a note and Wish Tankian like hits a high vocal, you see this rip in the sky expand wider, but then as they hit the down note and slide off of it, or Wish Tankian's voice cracks as she notices one of these small children like shatter a bunch of glasses with its spear, this ripple in the sky shrinks back to its original size.
Okay.
We need a performance.
Garion, or I'm sorry,
Yes.
so sorry, Garath. You see another two creatures run up to Ranear Neverember and go to move like they're going to attack him. And he throws himself back against the bar. Like he is full. This boy is hammered out of his gourd. And he says, yes, please, I have no weapon. You have caught me unawares. And they freeze and turn and run and attack somebody else.
Can I roll an insight check to see if they are afraid of him, respect him, recognize him?
Yeah.
One of those three things.
Yes, roll insight. Great idea.
Doing it.
That was the coolest thing you could have said from Katie's point of view. She literally like gasped relief.
You know
was
what? I
very
changed
excited.
my mind. No, I'm kidding.
I looked in the butthole as well.
So frustrated that Cerulean is not there to be like, I knew it.
Okay, I got an 11.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Ooh.
These characters are hooded and also facing away from you, so you're going by cold body language. There's definitely, I'll tell you, there's definitely recognition of like, they're all looking up, they see his face and they stop. Whether it's fear or some other sort of emotion, you can't really tell because again, you can't see their face.
Can I shout something to Arnold before my turn ends?
Absolutely.
Can I just shout? Oh, I should probably do my character voice, huh?
I would love that actually, yeah.
He's gonna make you do it. Then
I'm not gonna go understand you.
Okay. Arnold, real quick, if you can, disguise yourself as Ranear over there. I want to try something.
Ooh,
Okay.
okay. All right. Diana, it is your turn. You are still facing off with one of these cloaked and hooded figures. There's one that's, I'm going to say it, super dead at your at your feet. Just like the deadest anybody's ever been.
Oops, dead.
And the other one is still coming at me.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And
man.
what's Josh Pat doing?
Josh Pat is snarling and barking like crazy.
Adorable.
Adorably, but
He's
okay,
goofing.
he's not a big fan of them. Yeah, I shoot him. Didn't
Okay.
I shoot the other ones?
Oh, you've successfully killed twice tonight.
Go for 3 for 3.
Yeah. Hat trick, baby. Let's do it.
Yeah.
For our audio listeners, Diana just got a very lovely, evil-looking grin on her face. Like she just got real excited to
Have
be
you,
murdered.
audio listeners, if you bear with me, if you've seen the original animated Grinch,
Her heart just grew 3 sizes too big.
Ew.
4. 17, 7, 24. They're dead.
24?
Yes, I rolled a 17 and then I got the +7.
All right, roll damage. You have to roll damage first.
I mean,
that
with
was damage.
There's
With
no
the
way.
+7, like it's really hard to roll shitty with the bow, you know?
Yeah, flex on Gareth, who's missed several times in this campaign.
Oh.
I don't think I've hit. You know what? I've successfully kicked 2 people in the head, and that might
2
be
children.
You have.
Edwin was
right.
not a child.
He's
It was a teenager.
Not a child.
That's still a child. As someone who
legally.
works with teenagers, can't.
You know what,
confirm
guys?
their
Let's stop and have a let's have a very serious talk about the age of consent. No, let's not. Diana, hit me with it.
The age of
think-
consent of being kicked.
In the head. Yeah, I don't think Edwin consented to any part of that.
To be clear, when I said 10, I meant that is what I rolled and not the age of consent.
Oh, I did not.
It was
hear that.
very
So-
poor timing.
So important. I will cut it out of the episode, but thank you for specifying.
I didn't even hear.
I'm actually going to cut your explanation out, and it's just going to be 10, and then we're going to cut right back into this. So if you think 10-year-olds, nah, I'm just kidding. All right, 10. Okay, so you shoot this creature, and your arrow hits it in the leg, in the thigh, and it sort of like pirouettes with the force of the shot, and sort of like spins around. And it falls on the stage, and its spear goes clattering out of its hands. But despite the odds, Bessie, you see this creature continue to crawl towards Joshua Patrick. Garion.
Why does it want Joshua Patrick?
No, sorry, Anthony, because we skipped Anthony because he wasn't here. Anthony, it is your turn.
Okay, so I immediately cast Disguise Self to look like Rainier, and I
Okay.
just kind of like with my sword still drawn, kind of run over to Garion, and I'm like, I know, I'm pretty sure I know how to open the butt door over there. I got this. I know how to do this, but why do I have to look like this just to be handsome? What am I doing? What do we do? I have no idea what's going on. I look like a different person now. I'm a different person for you. Anything for you, best friend.
Okay, yeah, we can worry about the butthole door later, but for some reason these little goobers aren't attacking Rainier over there. I want to see if it's if they recognize him or if it's something with his physicality.
Okay, so I've spent a lot of time with Rainier. I imagine like being someone who's good at voices. Do I need to do a minor illusion to copy his voice, or am I just like,
I think you can do it sort of like in the moment. Role play it, if you will, and then if it's
Okay.
bad, I'll make you roll for it.
Okay, cool.
Is it Lumiere? Is
I'm
it
not going to tell.
Lumiere?
Hey, no hints. How dare you?
I remember. It's Lumiere.
That was a fucking hint. What did I just say? Okay, Arnold.
Yeah,
what
you
was-
cheat-
That
wait,
was the
so-
answer.
So I just kind of hold the long sword to my side, and I'm just hang on. I'm trying to think of what Ranear sounds like, and I don't remember now. And I'm thinking of a Lumiere. I also don't remember it.
Katie, make me mute you because I
Okay.
will.
So I say, you
Ow.
know what I am doing. I say, you know what I am doing here. Who are you?
Okay. You're talking to just one of these creatures.
Just
that
one of the
you-
goobers.
one of the goobers that you have just been fighting.
But now he doesn't recognize me because I'm Ranear Neverember, right?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Arnold,
Oh, yeah,
Arnold left his skirmish, came over to me.
Yeah, I came over to him, so it's a
Now-
new. I've never seen these goobers. The one that's the ones that are closer to where Garion was.
But you were. All right, fine. You see.
Let me have this.
Yeah. Okay, you're having a tough night internet wise. Fine. You get to rearrange where the bad guys were. You see one of them. Actually, it's the only one that's left alive in front of you guys. Freeze and take a step backwards. They're still wearing hoods. Their faces are still cowled, so you can't tell its expression. But immediately the aggression stops.
Okay. So I say, okay. So I okay. So I just look at him and I'm just like, I know these people. What are you trying to do here?
It babbles something at you in a lyrical tongue that you don't understand. And makes like a short like a sharp gesture and then points at Joshua Patrick between Mel's legs.
Okay. So I say, the dog. You want the dog for what?
It spreads its hands and then makes like a snapping motion, like a little alligator
Or a pincer,
mouth
mayhaps?
or a pincer,
Yeah.
and then points at the butthole door.
You want to feed the dog to a lobster, a butthole lobster?
It sees you doing this and then frantically nods. Yes.
Oh. I say, okay, I will bring the dog through the door. You, go, stop, no more of this.
And you gesture sort of like away.
Yeah, like
All
away.
right, so it turns and run and picks up its spear as it goes, and you see it make a beeline towards a noblewoman in like a flashy silver dress with one titty hanging out, like it's gonna go attack somebody else.
Eat the rich, whatever.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you meant the titty hanging out was gonna go attack somebody.
Weirder things have happened. All right,
Slap.
on the Fey side of the portal, Jess and Cerulean, these last two lobster men are sort of like clicking and pinching their way towards you.
Thought there was 3 total.
You crunched one.
But I
She killed one and I
seeded the
squished
first one.
There was 1 left.
So there's one left. Okay, thank you. There's one lobster man crunching its way up the beach, technically towards Cerulean, because Jess, you ran out cow style and rammed one of them with a hoof.
No, yeah.
So
You hoofed it.
there's one lobster man left. Is the moral of the story?
Cast an ice knife.
Okay, do it.
Da-da-da-da. Please roll. I hate these.
To
So
keep
much.
him alive for questioning.
They talking.
That's true. That's true.
Canonically, just like that.
Thank you. Oh, they have to roll.
I rolled a 4. Let's go. Huge.
All right. It was a D10. I got a 9. This D&D Beyond is rolling. It's awesome.
Excellent. You cast this ice knife and it shatters the chest plate over the rippling, glistening 6-pack that all of these creatures have. And you see the chitin like pull apart and this like waxy cream bleed out, and this thing collapses backwards, still muttering da-da-jam, da-da-chuck. Da-da-chuck.
They're all Jason Momoa in my mind. Is that what you're thinking? Or
Okay, yeah, sexy.
Oh, no,
I'm
I
into
don't wanna
it.
kill him
Like
anymore.
creamy.
No
like creamy,
way.
like
Creamy
lobster
Jason
Momoas.
Momoa.
David
Yeah.
Creamy.
David Star Song is Jason Momoa. Leave him
Is he?
alone.
Oh, I didn't. That's not
I
what
didn't
I was
see
picturing
that
at all. That's not what
actually.
I'm
All right.
Sure, all of us pictured David Starsong as the hottest person we think of. For me, it's Ryan Reynolds.
It's also Ryan Reynolds for me.
Yeah, I was also
Oh.
going Ryan Reynolds. This is-
Hey,
That's
the male and
that's
female
okay.
view, guys. All right, so Jess the cow and Cerulean the person. You see this shore side, this seaside. The water is brackish and green and stuffed with floating pieces of kelp. This is a nasty beach. The air over the horizon is stormy in patches of like purple and green and bruised navy. And on the rocky beach are the lied remains of fae, of people who look and talk and act like testicles, in various forms of like rendedness, tornness, pieces,
So they're dead. They're like
Dead as
fair.
hell.
except for one.
Oh,
There is an old fae gentleman with a hole in his chest that you could pass a grapefruit through. But he is lying sort of like propped up on another little mound of corpses, and is breathing very hard. But he points at you, Tess, and says, you're one of us."
The cow?
He points at the cow.
Cerulean runs up to, as she sees, I guess, a hand come up to point.
Yeah.
From her point of view, she'd run up and immediately like try to find something to like patch the wound. You know, obviously it's
Okay.
not going to work. It's
Hopefully
there's
a
like-
grapefruit nearby.
get some kelp and just like
There's a grapefruit stand on this beach. There's a very
fill the
confused
hole.
looking, very lovely Filipino woman who's selling grapefruit.
Will papaya work? No.
No, he's gonna die. Yeah, there's bits of like cloth and stuff around that you can scrape together and push and apply pressure to like ease this person's comfort, but clearly they're sliding from this plane to somewhere else.
Does Tess recognize this person?
No, I think you recognize them as one of you, like one of your people, but you don't recognize this person by name. However, Tess, as you approach this water side, the smell of cerulean, not cerulean, strengthens to the point of like, it's almost hard to like separate them a little bit.
As in they smell identical.
They smell identical, and so strongly that you're not sure if it's cerulean standing there or the other standing there, except you can see cerulean.
Okay.
Hey, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, sorry.
this.
Interesting. Okay. So I look at Cerulean and I'm like, wait, well, I guess we should deal with the dying dude.
Hey, he'll die on his own time. You're fine. You do you.
I want to ask him a question.
I feel like we should ask the dying person what happened.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. So
Yeah.
you're
Okay.
still a cow. So
I'm still a cow, so I
she is
moo
still a
it.
cow.
um,
Okay. No, I
So-
actually like the idea that Tess as a cow can speak in common. I really like that. Like the baby bell cow, but it's Tess.
I like to imagine it doesn't even have like a goofy voice or like say moo. It just sounds regular.
It's just Tess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
yeah. She
does.
opens her cow mouth and just my voice comes out.
He answers you, and his answer is fragmented as spurts of blood come up with his breath. Clearly, this person is fading fast. But he says, "They came from the air. They came from the sea. These things, these lobster folk, they came from there." And he points down the beach, and there is a sputtering hole in the air that is struggling to open and close. It does look a little bit like a butthole. But he says, "The mortals, they came from the mortals.
Nuh-uh.
Came
Do
from the
you-
mort hole.
Um,
Okay, sorry.
I was gonna ask, would you have shared at any point that they smelled like being controlled?
Yeah, he said that it smells like complete
Obedience.
Obedience.
Yeah.
Although
That's a
I
question
guess
for-
that's a question for
obedience
Tess.
isn't
I don't know.
necessarily controlling.
I mean, you
think-
wouldn't have had time, I guess. So I
Yeah,
wouldn't
no,
know.
I wouldn't have had time at any point. But I think this is when I would be like, I think I would ask the dying man, like, I guess when and who's controlling them? Like when, how long have they been here?
He says, 20 minutes ago, they came through. Not that one, but one that was similar. Not quite that butthole, but a slightly different, wider butthole.
So
If I look into the
Yes.
butthole, does it look vaguely like Lady Gralhun's Manor and
You-
the Battle of the Bards?
You look through the butthole and you see a courtyard lit by hanging paper lanterns and a scene of mild chaos as well-dressed guests with either a titty or a butt cheek hanging out of their fancy
Go.
gowns run to and fro and are attacked by small creatures in hooded garb.
Can I run over to it? And did I feel anything when I passed through the portal? Like, did I get hurt or?
No, I think you went through with Tess, so that negated a lot of the potential effects. So you didn't really feel anything.
Oh,
if you try to go back to it, Tess would stick out a little hoof and be like, wait, stay here.
okay.
What a fucking
don't
amazing
stick your
visual.
head through the portal.
Don't stick your head out of the butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have like a working knowledge of like Fey portals. Like, hey, like you cannot pass into the. Oh, I know that you can't pass into the Feywild without Fey.
There you go.
Never mind.
I bet I can. I'm kidding.
So I'm gonna stand not like in it, but I am going to look at, like get as close as I can to it without touching or getting. I'm kind of leaving the dead guy. I've done what I can.
Yeah. He's kind of fading fast.
So I'm gonna look and I'm gonna see if I can like pinpoint where any of my normal party is.
You see pandemonium. You see everything in motion. But you also see Garath standing in front of a stage. You see Mel standing with Joshua Patrick in her little legs.
Can I cast a spell through it?
I mean, no, you can't. I was gonna say you can try, but we don't have time.
Would light pass through it?
I doubt it.
So like if I started one of my laser show or dancing lights on my side, would the lasers show through?
No. This is great. This is great
think-
improv that I'm doing right now, isn't it?
I
Did
did.
a really
I did
great
try.
yes and.
So Cerulean would have tried to like get her party's attention, and when she sees it's not working, she's
Yeah,
just
I
gonna
think it's
kinda
just
like,
it's really just one-sided.
I think Tess would misunderstand what Cerulean's doing and thinking Cerulean was trying to get back. So I think Cow Tess just like tackles Cerulean to the ground.
she just lays there and she's like, "Get your udders off of me."
I'm gonna be honest. I think if a normal person was tackled by a cow,
You
they
would
would
die.
die.
That's damage. You take
Tess did
damage.
that Tess did a tender tackle. It
Oh.
was
Tender tackle. Oh, I love that.
one of her, yeah.
It was an aggressive head nudge.
Yeah. It was like, yeah, it was
A test tackle.
hoof on the shoulder. Like, you need to be here because this is the situation. I didn't smell it like this, but I know that I smelled you here at my home.
God, the picture. I'm picturing Tess like doing the comforting like hand on the shoulder, but she's a fucking cow.
Yeah.
So you just said that you smell me here.
I smelled you here. Yeah. I should tell you that I have a very sensitive sense of smell. I can sometimes smell the future.
I fucking knew it. Sorry.
The future? That's so dope. That's so dope. Oh, I'm so mad. So Cerulean looks at Tess and says, I'm sorry. Did you just say? Okay, hold on. Where did you smell me?
I had, it's almost like a vision, and I was trying to get back home, and I wanted to join your band, but then when I smelled you, it reminded me of a vision I had where I smelled home and you at the same time. I think you're supposed to be here. Have you ever been here before?
No, I don't think so.
Because this smells wrong to me. This doesn't smell quite like what I had smelled. I think at this point, Tess realizes that she has the wrong person. And that she smelled someone who smells very similar to Cerulean, but is not Cerulean.
Oh my god. Cerulean's long lost twin, Turquoise.
Joke is on you because I legitimately named Cerulean's little freaking sister Turquoise.
Fucking
Yeah.
incredible. There's no way you wandered ass backwards into that joke. There's no way.
That means it wasn't a joke, it was a lore drop.
Okay. Sorry. I'm just like screaming on the inside. So Cerulean looks at Tess and says, they smell like me? I don't have any family anymore. I don't know.
Tess is like, you don't have anyone, you don't have cousins, you don't have long lost uncles, or I can't think of any more family members. Aunts.
So Cerulean probably would get teary-eyed and say, well, my sister and I were taken from our parents a really long time ago, and then when I escaped, I had to leave her behind, and it's been 16 years.
And I think Tess would be like, sister. That's absolutely what it is. It's a sister. I smell your sister in this world.
So, I'm sorry if I could interject really quick, Jess. Cerulean, next to you in this really terrible sea that shouldn't be here, you see the water peel back from the stony shore, probably like not far, maybe like a foot or two. A long, long time ago, when you and your sister were still together, she had a comfort item. What was it?
So she had this horrible doll that I was 5 when we got separated. So when we got taken, I had fashioned out of a burlap sack, a really crude doll. And she slept with it every night, and she took it everywhere, drug it around, because she was only almost 3. So she was just dragging it around everywhere with her. But it's horribly crude, and you would not be able to replicate it because a 5-year-old made it.
Buried in the mud and kelp forming the downslope of this sea is that burlap doll that you made for your sister God knows how many years ago, and you know every stitch of it, and you know immediately that it is not a fabrication and it's not a replica. It is the same doll that you made in the depth of this horrible, horrible ocean.
At the bottom of the ocean, that's where it is.
Well, the water's peeled back by about a foot or so, but it is in the water.
Okay.
And it's almost like the sea is saying, here it is.
So would I know just by looking at this water, since I can breathe in water, would I know if I can breathe in it?
Yeah, you probably can.
I'm going down to
find
the
out.
Okay. Yeah, you could walk in and get it. It's not
but I I want to look in like however the water has peeled back. Like I want to
Okay.
look in the water.
You want
I
to
think
stick your
I'm-
head in there, sort of like Moana style.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I wish I had more knowledge of like Disney songs because then I would sing one,
The
but
line
I'm not
where
going to
it's
do that.
time to see.
Yeah, except that's
me.
copyright infringement, and Disney is famously not thrilled with people collaborating with them.
Cut it. See
Yeah.
the ground where the water peeled back and there's a doll.
Cerulean, you stick your head in this water and immediately you hate it. It is, you're a water ganassi, so like you're comfortable in water. You've been in water countless times and you always feel like you're coming home a little bit when you submerge yourself. You hear a voice calling in the depths of this water, and it is not a pleasant voice in the slightest. It is cold and deep and slithering, and it sounds like the worst things that live in the bottom of the ocean. But you also hear a voice that's incredibly familiar to you, and it is screaming for help. And that is the voice of your sister.
Does Tess recognize the smell of the doll as well?
Yeah, I think as the water pulls back and you see the doll, you smell the right cerulean, the correct cerulean, the cerulean that you smelled all along.
Yes.
Turquoise.
Right. And I realized that's what I'm smelling.
Yeah.
She doesn't hesitate. She's gone in the water. She's following the voice. Like her sister's voice. She is following her sister's voice. She doesn't even care if it's fake. Like she is full speed.
Okay.
And I can swim as fast as I can run. So
okay. On the other side of this portal, we're gonna leave that for a split second. Arnold, you see Sourpuss struggling to keep this portal open. And the wider it gets, you see more and more little creatures with hoods on them, pointing and catching each other's attention and pointing at it. And the wider it gets, you see them stop attacking people and start turning toward it, almost like it was like it's catching their attention, like it's intentional.
Okay. How far away from the portal and little goblins am I?
Probably like 20 feet, not too far. It's opening just on the other side of the central bar in the middle
Okay.
of.
And they have their backs to me, faces to the butthole.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna look at them. I have like sword in hand still. I haven't put it down yet. I still look like Ranear, of course. But I'm going to move to them, and I'm gonna Spartan kick the smallest one into the butthole for safety purposes.
For safety purposes. Okay.
nice.
Butthole.
Give me an unarmed strike, Arnold.
Sure.
It should just be your strength modifier
I see.
after a D10 or a D20.
This is why Gareth and Arnold are best friends. They just be kicking. They met at an orphanage, and they were not adopting.
They were not taking a bunch of kids.
Wow.
All right. So you said roll D20. I got 16, and then just 1 is my strength.
Okay. You Spartan kick one of these little idiot boys, and it flies into this butthole, and it's a pretty small ripple. So it only gets like head and shoulders, but it does like transport somewhere else briefly.
Lands on a cow.
Okay. So does it come back? Is it like, does it go briefly and come back
It's
out?
kind of half and half.
Volleyball it.
Okay,
back and
but-
forth.
But by examining it, like after I kick it, I can tell that there's no damage to the creature.
Correct.
Okay. And would I know, or could I tell at all if it's a fey creature, or if it's
Not from where you're standing.
Okay,
I mean, because that's a level of knowledge that you don't
just
have.
making sure. Okay, that's cool. Fair enough.
Mel, this poor creature who you have maimed
I
so
tried to
badly. Dianna, come on now. Is crawling towards you, and it reaches out one sort of like blood smeared hand towards Joshua Patrick. And you hear it whisper in common, actually, for the first time. And it says, "Please help us."
No.
And I whisper, no. Yep.
It is your turn, Mel. I'm being a little loosey-goosey with the turn order right now.
I would probably take my boot. I would like step on their hand, but not hard, just like enough so they realize that they need to stop going for my dog. And then I would I'd ask help you with what? Now that I've killed you guys. I don't say that part, but it's implied.
I think it says pointing at Joshua Patrick, he can smell the bad guys. He can smell who did this to us.
So can Jess. The fuck?
Yeah, what?
Yeah, well, Jess isn't here, bro.
Yeah, it's almost like she isn't here due to some sort of sudden portal opening. Actually, hold on. Never mind. I'm a moron. I can't
There
think
it is.
things through.
There it is.
I would if he can smell the bad guy. Well, if he's smelling bad guys, he doesn't seem too enthused about you guys.
That's true. Joshua Patrick does not like this guy.
I'm not too enthused about you either. So who are the bad guys? You got to give me more than that. None of this cryptic bullshit.
Like,
I don't know if that's Mel or Diana talking.
Yeah. There's a lot of cryptic shit flying around. I think he says, beware the sudden sea.
Again with the cryptic bullshit.
There is an arrow in my leg. I'm in so much pain.
Oh my god.
Please,
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Could
Please
have
help me.
spoken
It is femoral
in
artery,
common
which is bleeding.
before. I mean, you saw like there were opportunities, is all I'm saying.
Just like get fucked.
I think it's
Really,
so
kinda,
funny.
like,
Really.
you're gonna hit me with that fucking cryptic bullshit. You want my help? I don't know what you are saying to me.
It's so funny to me that these little goobers were wiped out by something or someone, and they're like, "Oh my god, what should we do? Let's break open a hole in the fabric of reality and kidnap someone's dog."
Well, it's funny you should say that, Gareth, actually, because in the sort of like growing aftermath of this party, only a handful of these goobers, which is now what I guess they're called, are looking at this butthole door. You see a pack of them, almost like 10 strong, run towards the manor on one side of the courtyard, the big house.
Yeah, I know what a manor is.
I wasn't sure if you wanted to ask Siri. That is a
Big
resource
house.
available to you.
I'm going to be honest. I thought we were inside this whole time.
How are you this bad at imagination?
He did say grass, and then that's when I clued in that it was outside because I also thought it was inside.
Thank you,
Wait.
Jess.
There's stages. How big do you think a manor is? It's
Big?
like-
Are you telling me there are
You
no
said big
inside
house?
stages?
I mean-
Have you been to like a comedy club? That's a stage.
have you ever been to like a concert?
Or stage.
I've been
Battle
to
of the
3
Indoor
concerts in my
concerts.
life.
Wait, so okay, these goobers run in. Are they headed toward the butthole?
Yeah, they're running towards the manor,
house.
which I assume has Lady what's her face? Greyhound.
Growlhound.
Growlhound.
Growl.
That's the one.
Butthole?
Greyhound.
Is the butthole above the manor? It's on the other side. Just for everybody.
It's in the courtyard in front of it.
So
They're
okay.
running away from the booty hole.
Now are there multiple buttholes at this point?
There's one butthole, just
Okay.
as it should be.
So true.
This is the Lord intended. One butthole.
All right.
I'm
So
Go ahead, Gary.
I'm gonna shoot another insight check. I want to see if they are running towards the manor or running away from something.
Okay.
Butthole.
All right. Give it to me. No, you never
Oh
run
fuck!
from
Don't
a
drop it on the
butthole,
ground.
bestie.
Get the other d20. That one's on the floor now. We got a 10.
Okay. They are running to the house,
Sweet.
heads down, intent on something, on a mission.
I mean, shit. I guess I'm following him.
You run towards him. That's fine. Across the way, Arnold, you hear Wish Tankian mutter something to Matt and point at the butthole door and all of these like little figures be bopping around. And with a renewed vigor, Matt slams a chord on his lute, and Wish Tankian hammers some vocals, and like with more fresh energy, they manage to push this portal open to about the size of a door, like a proper door that looks like a door. So please God, don't make me keep saying butthole, because YouTube is going to take this video down.
You have to lube up before you go in the door.
On the other side of the door, Jess.
It's a back door, though.
You
I would
see
like to
Cerulean-
amend. I would like to amend my action because
Okay.
I feel like Cerulean wouldn't be that short-sighted, even in the case of her sister. So
Okay.
I feel like retroactively, sorry, that was
So
not a
good.
character.
Let's just say you stuck your head in there and heard this stuff, and then
yeah.
Got a little
Um,
frazzled.
Cerulean looks at. She pulls her head out of the water. Notably not a booty hole, and
Booty water.
and then anything's a booty hole if you try hard enough.
That's the episode title.
Oh man. All right. Pulls her head out of the booty water and grabs the doll and runs up to Tess and says, I heard my sister screaming. I have to go after her, but I can't. I can't just. None of it's in my character voice.
Just leave it. Just go. It's fine.
You're good. You're
You're doing a
good.
great job.
I heard my sister's voice in there, and I don't know if I'm going to make it back out because there's something evil in there, but I can't leave knowing that nobody's going to know where I went. And I'm going to look through the portal and see if I can cast message still, because I do have a direct line of sight.
Yeah, I think so. I think you can cast message and catch all of your party, I think, because you can see Mel, you can see Arnold, you can see Garath. So on the human side,
Ranear, actually.
Yeah, fair.
But I,
yeah, all right, yeah, you catch Garath and Mel.
but he'd still be wearing his clothes, right? Or he'd still have a loot with him. He would still have his loot with him.
That's true. You see
I'll go
Rainier
with that.
dressed eerily in Arnold's costume.
Oh my God,
The-
Rainier beat up Arnold, took all of his clothes, and stole his loot.
And I recognize this as the legitimate loot that Floon one time signed. And
Oh no, Arnold gave that one away.
That one's-
Arnold
I don't have that yet. That's
foolishly
still-
lost that one.
Yep.
okay. Anyways, I
Way to bring it
recognize
up.
everything, and I just assume because Arnold does all of his like painting a corpse face on himself, that it's him. I just assume. So
I'm also
I
holding
look at
my
all of
sword.
them.
I don't know.
I look at all of them and I cast. Y'all look at the portal. I think I have to go. It's been amazing, and I know that I have a lot of duties at Troll Skull, but Tess seems like a good person, and I think my sister is here, and I have to find her. And you guys can all respond. I'm the only one that can hear you, but you are the only one.
I hate to ruin this moment of tension. Can I have my knife back? I assume you have it. I hope.
Cerulean like pulls the knife out and like one eyebrow quirks up, and she's like, dude, don't serve any more kids, okay? And just like tosses the knife towards him in a respectable way where I'm hoping it like at least funks on the stage so it doesn't like
Yeah, you don't stab anybody with it, much to Mel's dismay.
Oh, you want your knife back? Then fucking take it.
Yeah!
That's the proper way. Y'all did it
Uh,
wrong.
Tess, you see this portal widen but immediately start to like contract and shrink again as Arnold, at the same time, you hear Wish Tankian's voice crack because she's been singing at this point for like 10 full minutes. And Matt's fingers slip on this like lute string, and like they just don't have they're just not good enough to keep this portal open.
They're just not as good as Arnold.
They're not as good as the Ghost Mafia.
Does Tess recognize the smell of the water, by the way? That was
in what way? Jess, clue me in your thought process
this
here.
water that she smelled before? Does this smell familiar?
No, this is a new smell, and it's real bad and dangerous. Like this is a water that smells threatening to everything you love and hold dear. And the only clue you have as to where it came from is an old dying man pointing at a portal saying the mortal world.
She is definitely panicked because home is everything. This is where she wanted to be. So I think she would be like, if that's where it's coming from, then I need to go back and I need to stop whatever is destroying my home. I'm still a cow.
You are notably still a cow.
But I'm still wearing like my fit, if you remember, with the overalls. And instead now I have to
have you had overalls on this whole ass time?
Now this is a very important question, because either A, they're regular sized overalls and that like ripped and torn around the cow, or 2, they're cow sized overalls.
3, they're magical overalls because she's a druid and this is a fantasy world. Stop ruining.
They stayed the same because I bought them in the human side, so I'm only wearing them on the bottom half. But like similar to, if you remember, Tess had one teat out, and there's still one little piece of udder hanging out for narrative reasons.
Very important to the plot.
Very important. But her hoofs like pat her pockets, and she's like, and anyway, I lost my keys, so I can't even go home. So she knows she needs to get back, but she's concerned about Cerulean. So I think she asked Cerulean if she'll be okay here, and if this is where she wants to stay, because I can't stay with her.
Cerulean looks at Tess and says, I have to try. I have to try to find her. I know that everything about this water is wrong. And whatever I heard in there, it's probably going to kill me. But I have to find her. If there's any chance she's in there, I have to go. It's what I've been doing for the past 15, 16 years of my life. Everything I've done has been for the purpose of finding her. I left her for dead. I have to find my sister. So with that, Cerulean takes off into the water and swims in the direction of her sister's screaming.
Okay. Tess, you walk through this portal. Very important question. Narratively, I do need to know, do you walk through it as a cow or do you walk through it as a person?
I leap through, like cow jumping over the moon style.
Hell yeah.
Into the hole.
I was gonna say, so I want to like throw my loop back over and play like the proper note and use my,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my minor illusion to cause the rift to open up more, so it's more like
more
moose-sized.
Or
you sling your longsword like around your shoulder, and it actually like hits your lute that slides the other way, and you almost like 360 your guitar into your hands, and you hammer the final chord of this song way better than Matt could do. That fucking slippery fingered idiot. And this rift opens wide enough for Tess to come through, and actually as Tess comes through, you see her form shudder, and she
Shudder.
the udder.
I'm glad 3 of us made that joke.
really milked it, guys.
We're really milking the jokes, okay?
You see Tess's
hear me?
You see Tess's form. Yeah. Arnold, your internet
No,
cut out, it was
Tess said it
crazy.
louder, so that means it's funnier. Sorry, Anthony.
Okay, that's fair.
You see Tess's form shudder as this majestic coverall wearing cow jumps through and lands, and it has Tess's like big hair. I think that was how Tess described it, was she was medium, but her hair was big. And through the portal, you see Cerulean dive into the ocean and swim into the depths just as the ripple closes, and the portal dies.
So it is just to be clear, it's sunset, right? She is swimming into the sunset.
She is swimming into the sunset.
Fantastic.
Hey, Critically Stupid family, it's Katie. I play Cerulean on Critically Stupid. I just want to let you guys know this is my last episode with Critically Stupid. I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be a part of this incredible show for 2 seasons, and for the outpouring of love and support that you have shown me and Cerulean and each of my castmates. They are the best group of people in the whole world, and I could not have asked for a better group to get to do this with. Unfortunately, because of some personal stuff and some time obligations in some other places, I'm having to step back. But I wanted to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I love you guys, and you guys have made such an impact on me. So thank you for 2 amazing seasons, and I can't wait to see what's next for Critically Stupid.